Om Ajnanatirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantik Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sanalalita Shri Vishakamitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we are in chapter number 7 of Bhagavad Gita. We saw here how Krishna reveals knowledge about himself, and he says that how he will now explain in full knowledge about phenomenal, about the material and spiritual energies, both numinous and phenomenal. And then we see how what is the greatness and sweetness of Krishna and the rarity of knowing Krishna. So that we saw, and we also saw Krishna's different energy, that is the material energy, that is Apara Shakti or Maya Shakti, which consists of earth, water, fire, air, ether. And then we also saw Krishna's spiritual energy, that is Para Shakti, that is Jiva Shakti. And we also saw how Krishna is the maintainer and the supreme personality in verse number 7. And from verse 8 to 12, we saw how he is all pervasive, how is taste of water, light of sun, and syllabus om, and how is heat in fire and life of all life, and everything we saw from 8 to 11. And then it is said that how Krishna is beyond the modes in verse number 12. And from verse 13 to 19, how we can surrender to Lord Krishna is given, and what is the benefits of Krishna, and what are four type of people who surrender to Krishna and four type of people who does not surrender to Krishna. We saw in verse number 15, 16, and 17, and how Jnani is the best of the people who surrender. And then Krishna says that all of them are magnanimous because they come to me. So we saw in 18, and we saw how what is the rarity of a pure devotee is Kevala Bhakti. That is 19, Bahunam Janmanamante, Jnanvarman Pravante, Vasudev Sarvamiti, Samahatma, Sudulabha. And from 20 to 25, we saw how demigod worship and how uh, who does Vaibhinur worship and who gives faith and all. We saw that Krishna only gives faith to all who do demigod worship. And we saw that how the results of demigod worship are perishable, and men who worship demigods go to their planets, but men who worship Supreme Personality Godhead go to Vaikuntha Lokas or this. And then we saw about impersonalities in verse number 24. And now in verse number 25, we see that how Krishna reserves the right of not revealing himself to all. So he can make himself available to anybody, but he may also not be seen to anybody. So that is his right, and that is not what we can ask. So let's recite verse number 25. Naham prakasha sarvasya yogamaya samavrita mudoyam na vijanati loko mam ajam avyayam. I am never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent. For them, I am covered by my internal potency, and therefore they do not know that I am unborn and infallible. So, those who are not intelligent or foolish, they for them, Krishna is covered. So, Krishna is covered means actually it's like sun. Sun can be seen by all, But when there are clouds, our eyes are covered by clouds. So we cannot see the sun because of the clouds are there. But actually sun is there beyond the clouds, and it is visible to person who can see uh, beyond the clouds, that they can say. So Krishna is not visible for us, and therefore he is covered by his internal potency, this yoga maya or internal shakti, and therefore nobody knows that Krishna is unborn and infallible. Um, that is, Krishna never takes birth, and he can never fall. That is, he is infallible. Nor the promise can ever fail. So this nobody knows. Purport: it may be argued that since Krishna was visible to everyone when he was present on this earth, how can it be said that he is not manifest to everyone? But actually, he was not manifest to everyone. When Krishna was present, there were only a few people who could understand him to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the assembly of Kurus, when Shishupal spoke against Krishna's being elected president of the assembly, Bhishma supported him and proclaimed him to be the supreme God. So we know this Rajsuya Yagya, where the Pandavas wanted to do the first Agra Puja of Krishna, and for they told it, but then Shishupal spoke against them. But Bhishma said no, he's supreme God, and similarly he should uh, be given first puja. That is, Krishna should be given first puja. Similarly, the Pandavas and a few others knew that he was a supreme, but not everyone. He was not revealed to the non-devotees and the common man. So he was present before even Duryodhana and Dhritarashtra, but they did not understand that he's supreme personality of God, and therefore they're always against him. Therefore, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that but for his pure devotees, all men consider him to be like themselves. He was manifest only to devotees as a reservoir of all pleasure, but to others, to unintended devotees, he was covered by his unintended potency. So others may also see Krishna, but they may consider that he is like an ordinary person, or maybe some yogi, or maybe he has some extra powers or something. So not knowing means not knowing that he's supreme personality of Godhead, but thinking otherwise that he is like this or this or this. So therefore, we should know that uh, we may also hear Bhagavad Gita, we may associate with devotees, but still, we in ignorance we may think that Krishna is like us or we are like Krishna. So there are two problems which happen. Either people drag Krishna to our level, or people think that we can become God. So these are two problems which happen, and therefore it's not easy even by hearing, by uh, seeing also, that we can understand that he is Krishna himself. It is only that if we get association of pure devotees and we can take things seriously and we can perform pure devotional service, then only we can understand that he is Supreme Personality of God. And therefore, he is only known to the pure devotees who are unalloyed devotees of the Lord. In the prayers of Kunti, the Srimad Bhagavatam 1:18-19, it is said that the Lord is covered by the curtain of Yog Maya, and thus ordinary people cannot understand him. So, in this verse, it is said that because he is covered by the internal potency 1:8-19, therefore he is not knowable by ordinary persons. So actually, big demigods and so many people are bewildered because they don't know him as it is. Like we see in the case of Brahma Vimala, where Brahmaji was bewildered, and even in the case of Govardhan, where Indraji was bewildered. So he's covered, and not many can know him. And therefore, it is like we see that there is some actor who is playing, but we cannot recognize who the actor is. He's playing some play, but we don't know who he is. We can see the play in a drama, but we don't know who he is. So that is what it is. So this Yogmaya cutting also confirmed in Vishwamishra Mantra 15, in which devotee prays Hiranmayena patrena satyasya apahitam mukham tattvam pushan avapranu satya dharmaya dashyate. O my Lord, You are the maintainer of the entire universe, and devotional service to you is the highest religious principle. So, as we are discussing, from now on, spirituality will, from now on or before only, it is already in rise, and the time has come when we should practice spirituality, and we should know that Krishna is the mentor of our entire universe. And in further days, we should more and more practice spirituality as the things which are going on. Uh, it will be certain that there will be a growth in spirituality, and also the need will be felt all over the world that we should go towards spirituality in the entire universe, that everyone will feel that we should practice some sort of spirituality, and it is the highest religious principle. Therefore, I pray you that you will also maintain me. Your transcendental form is covered by the yoga maya. So it is covered means we cannot see him. It doesn't mean that he is covered, but we cannot see. Our eyes are covered by the yoga maya potency, and we cannot see him. The Brahmajyoti is the covering of the internal potency. May you kindly remove this glaring effulgence that impedes my seeing your Satchidananda Vigraha. So what happens when Krishna comes from him, the light emanates, which is called Brahmajyoti, and it is so bright that we cannot see even Krishna himself. And therefore, here the prayer is meant that please remove this effulgence so that I can see you. Even if we see Arjuna also, further it will come in 11th chapter, where he will also say that, oh, I don't want to see this in useful, I want to see you in the 400 form. So that where he also will pray because he will not be able to see it any longer. So eternal form of full of form of bliss and knowledge. The Supreme Personality of Godhead in his transcendental form of bliss and knowledge is covered by the eternal potency of the Brahma Jyoti, and the less intelligent persons cannot see the Supreme on this account. Also, in the Srimad Bhagavatam 10:14-7, there is a prayer by Brahma, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, O Super Soul, O Master of all mystery, who can calculate your potency and pastimes in this world? So this 10th canto, 14th chapter are prayers by Brahmaji, and these are very wonderful prayers where Brahmaji speaks about so many things. And this specific verse, uh, he says that learned philosophers may or scientists may be able to count all the atoms on Earth or particles of snow or the shiny molecules that did from sun. So these are actually not possible, but still Brahma says it may be possible that all may count any atoms and everything, but still one may not be able to know the unlimited transcendental qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is what the context of the verse is. And therefore, it says that who can calculate your potency in pastimes in this world? So it's impossible. So even to know how many molecules are there in the sun rays, for us, we cannot know. But Brahma is saying someday it may be possible that it may be counted by philosophers, scientists. But still, the quality of Lord is so unlimited that one will not able to uh, see that how the qualities are expanding and what the qualities are. So you're always expanding your internal potency, and therefore no one can understand you. So actually, Lord's internal potency is always ever expanding. It's always ever expanding. So as the devotions and the devotees, the devotion of the devotees increase, the Lord's internal potency is always increasing. It will never uh, stop. Like when we grow, but after a certain point, our height, our body structure, everything stops, and then deterioration starts. But in the case of Lord, it never stops. It always continues to grow, and continues to grow. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, uh, Krishna is only unborn and also aware inexhaustible. His eternal form is bliss and knowledge, and his inner energies are all inexhaustible. So our energies are exhaustible in this material world, but Krishna's energies are inexhaustible. Means it will never ever exhaust. It will just grow, grow, and grow. So for us, it may be very difficult to understand. We may theoretically hear, but very difficult to understand that how this energy is growing. Because for us, we have seen any energy, it converts or it deteriorates. We see that whatever energy we have in body, after some time, it's finished. If we put some diesel or petrol in the car, after some time, we have to replenish it. But the Lord's energy is inexhaustible, and this we should know. And eternal form is bliss and knowledge. So it is always happy, it is always full of knowledge. And here only we are in ignorance. So now, from verse number 26 to 30, um, we should know how we can come out of this Maya, because it said that we cannot understand Krishna. So from delusion to devotion, how we can convert, and this we can know. And now from here, Krishna will say how I know the past, present, and future, and whatever is happening after. And then he will discuss further things. So let us recite verse 26. Vedaham samatitani vartamani cha arjuna bhavishyani cha bhutani mam tu vedana kaschana. O Arjuna, as a supreme personality of Godhead, I know everything that has happened in the past, all that is happening in the present, and all these things that are yet to come. I also know all living entities, but me, no one knows. So, so many times there are questions. I am working for Krishna, I am chanting, I am doing so many things for Krishna. Whether Krishna is hearing or not, whether Krishna knows or not, or sometimes there is a question whether my Guru Maharaj knows or not, whether what I am doing, what service I am doing. So here it is confirmed that as Supreme Personality, I know everything that has happened in the past, all that is happening in the future, and all things that are yet to come. So everything is known by Krishna. We did not have to worry that even if we don't get association of Guru Maharaj, or even if we don't have so much closeness with superiors and everything, whatever service we do, uh, Krishna as Paramatma is sitting in our heart. He knows everything, whatever we are doing, present and future, whatever we'll do. And he will transfer this knowledge to our Guru Maharaj or whoever is required as per the time and circumstances. And therefore, we should be aware that whatever devotion service we are doing is always recorded by Krishna. Even some small service we do, it is recorded by Krishna. And in the time of difficulty, it will come to our help. But we should not expect that Krishna will reciprocate at that point of time. So Krishna just notes whatever is happening. And then when appropriate time comes, it reciprocates. We should not think that he will immediately reciprocate. It's like if you work for a month and you get salary after the month. So if you work in devotion service for some long time, then you get results. For first few years, you may understand, you may not understand, and something is working. And after few years, you may know that, oh, actually, so many things have happened. I have changed so much. And there are so many credits which have come to me, the devotional credits. So this we may come and to know after some time. Like if somebody goes to Ayurvedic doctor and takes some medicines. So what happens, for some years, he will not know only what is happening inside. But after a few years, he will come to know that so many things are happening. Because of internal, so many things have changed. Externally, he's becoming healthy and hearty. But for first few months or years, he may think, oh, whether is medicine working or not? Whether I am taking the medicine, is it useful or not? So many questions may doubt. And that time he has to have faith that no, what I am doing is right and these things are working. Similarly, when one does devotional service and he practices, sometimes the mind doesn't cooperate. Sometimes there are external disturbance, sometimes internal disturbance. Still, one should not stop and should continue, because it is all recorded. And whatever is recorded ultimately will bear results also. We should be very, very sure of. And therefore, whatever time we have in our life, and we don't know how much time we have. Like just yesterday, we saw in Nepal, the whole thing has started. The youths have come on the road, and so many people are abducted, and so many people are killed. So it was a just peaceful country. Just few days back, if we see, so many things were happening, so many people were going and coming, and everything was happening. Within few days, it has changed, and so much change actually. So this is the material world. Let us face this reality that in material world, anything can happen at any point of time. It's uncertain, and therefore Krishna says, Dukhalayam ashashvatam. It's temporary, full of misery. And we never know what will happen at what time. We will be caught unaware. That is what the material world is. And therefore, uh, we should understand that we should practice our spiritual lives, our spiritual journey, our spiritual practices very, very strictly and seriously. That is only thing which will save us in the long run. Others all will not be able to save us, and therefore we should practice our spiritual life in a way where maximum things are for spirituality, or where the record is that we whatever time we had at our disposal, we did not waste it, but is used for Krishna's service. Purport here, the question of personality and impersonality is clearly stated. If Krishna, the form of Supreme Personality Godhead by Maya material as the impersonalists consider him to be, then, like the living entity, uh, he would change his body and forget everything about the past life. So, here the difference of personality and impersonality is there. So, according to impersonal people, what happens? They say that everything is Brahman, and from one Brahman, Krishna has come, and now he's under Maya. But Prabhupada here is confirming that if somebody has come from that and now is under Maya, then he would also, like living entity, change his body and forget everything. Then what is the difference between the Krishna and us? If he's come from Brahman, he's also forgetting everything. So it's not true, because here is confirmed that he remembers everything and his body is never changing. Anyone with a material body cannot remember his past life, nor can he foretell his future life, nor can he predict the outcome of his present life. Therefore, he cannot know what is happening in the past, present, and future. So, this material body is perishable, and spiritual body is not perishable. So, bhakti is related with the spiritual body, and whatever acts we are doing, like earning and everything, or material again, it is related with material body. And therefore, when material body is vanished, what happens is everything related to the memory of material body is finished. But because spiritual body is not perishable, so whatever is related with spiritual body, it's not perishable, and therefore it also goes to the next life. We all know we have three types of body. One is the gross body, which is made of earth, water, fire, air, and ether. And then there is subtle body made of mind, intelligence, and ego. And then there is the third body, which is Atma, spirit soul. So spirit soul cannot be, there cannot be harm, cannot be done anything. And therefore, uh, uh, this whatever bhakti is there is recorded here in the spirit soul level. And therefore it remains, it is related to spirit soul. And then the subtle body, mind, intelligence, and ego. So this carries all our thought patterns and everything to the next body. And therefore, we see that certain children are born with certain habits. Like just Sunday, I was seeing one child. From childhood, he may be just 3 years old, maybe, not more than that. But he has so much longing for the keys of car and everything. And he will sleep with a vehicle in his home, and he'll say, "This is my car." So much possessive, and so much he has that, "Oh, this is my thing, you cannot touch it." So this has come from past life, that this possessiveness and this all things, that this what is I want, and this is what this is that. So it is transformed from that, and he may not remember everything, but certain characters is there, and this will carry on in future, that how his things will grow. So uh, nor he can predict the outcome present. Therefore, he cannot know what is happening present present. Unless one is liberated from material contamination, he cannot know past, present, and future. So this is what the thing is. One need to get out this material contamination. Unlike the ordinary human being, Lord Krishna clearly says that he completely knows what happened in the past, what is happening in the present, and what will happen in the future. So ordinary people cannot tell, but Krishna is clearly stating that he can tell. In the fourth chapter, we have seen that Lord Krishna remembers instructing Vivaswan, the sun god, millions of years ago. Krishna knows every living entity because he is situated in every living being's heart as a super soul. So, if we see fourth chapter only, we saw the verse number 1 and 2, where Krishna says that how I have given this knowledge to Vivaswan, and further it has gone. And now because it has been destroyed, I am been the disciplic chain is destroyed. I am again giving this knowledge to you. So there, Arjuna asks this very eminent question that the sun god was born so much before you, and you are just now come. So how can you tell this, and how can you remember? And that time Krishna speaks that you have taken birth so many times, but I remember and you don't remember. So that is a proof that Krishna remembers so many years back what he has done, and we don't remember. Uh, Krishna knows every living entity because he's situated in every living entity's heart as a super soul. It's very important because there are so many living entities. We cannot even count. See, we can only see the human beings which are there. But if we see the microbes and the ants and so many living entities, they are like billions and trillions of all. So many have not got even human form as of now, but the number is phenomenal, phenomenal. And we cannot imagine how big the number is. And to remember, even for us, it's very difficult for us to remember outside what we have eaten some months back, or what we had done months back. We don't remember. But what Krishna remembers each and everything. And therefore, it's very important to know that Krishna knows every living entity. Sometimes we may say that Krishna knows this person or that person. No, Krishna knows every person, and he knows the detail of every person also. So that is a tremendous task which only can be done by Krishna or the Lord himself. And why he can know? Because he is situated in everyone's heart as super soul. So every soul, every living entity, with him, he stays. In whatever living entity he goes, he may become a bug, he may become a plant, he may become a animal, whatever he may become, the super soul is always with his there, and therefore he remembers everything. But despite his presence in every living entity, a super soul, and his presence as supreme personality Godhead, the less intelligent, even if able to realize the impersonal Brahman, cannot realize Sri Krishna as supreme person. So some people, they may realize that there is called something called impersonal Brahman, and that is the effulgence coming from Krishna, but they will not be able to realize Krishna himself. So that can also happen. Certainly, the transcendental body of Sri Krishna is not perishable. He's just like the sun, and Maya is just like a cloud. So Krishna is like the sun, and Maya is like a cloud. Means the cloud cannot cover the sun. It can only cover our eyes, that we cannot see the sun, but otherwise sun cannot be covered. So in the material world, we cannot see that there is sun and that there are clouds and different stars and planets. The clouds may cover all this in the sky temporarily, but this covering is only apparent to a limited vision. So this also happens temporarily and only to our vision. Otherwise, they're all there. The sun, moon, and stars are not actually covered. Similarly, Maya cannot cover the Supreme Lord. By his eternal potency, he is not manifest to the less intelligent class of men. So, eternal potency means Yog Maya, and it is his mercy, or it is his wish whom he may reveal himself to. And if person is atheist, or if person does not believe in God, naturally he will not reveal himself to him. It is also case with anybody in this world. Suppose whom you will give advice to. You will give advice to someone who will listen to you, someone who has who understands your credibility. If your credibility is questioned, then you will not reveal anything to anybody. Why? Because if person does not respect you, if the person does not have any trust on you, then whatever you may say, the person will disregard it. It will say, oh, this person is false. The thing which is saying is false. And therefore, in this world also, whom we tell things is somebody who accepts our authority, that whatever we are saying is true, or who accepts, who has faith on us. Similarly, here Krishna is saying that if people are atheists, people don't have devotion to him, and people do not recognize him, he reserves the right that he will not reveal himself to him. And this is just natural thing. It is stated in the third verse of this chapter, out of millions of one, some try to become perfect in human form of life, and out of thousands of perfected men, hardly one can understand what Lord Krishna is. So we saw in this third chapter only, where Krishna says this, Manushanam saraseshu kaschit idati siddhaye, yajadanam api siddhanam kaschit mam veti tattvata. So there are thousands of men. Out of that, some may try to achieve perfection, and out of that, who have achieved perfection, some may hardly know Krishna. So not so easy. So what we are actually trying to understand Krishna is a mammoth task, is a very Herculean task what we are doing. It's not very easy, but it is like we are trying our way. It's like Yashoda Mai who wants to bind Krishna. She does whatever she can do. Ultimately, it's Krishna's mercy, it's Krishna's wish whether he wants to get tired or not. But from our side, what we are trying is to show sincerity. Okay, Krishna, I want to know you. I want to understand you, and therefore please reveal yourself to us. And based on that, if Krishna is pleased by our sincerity, then our longingness that we want to know him, then he can show himself to us. Even if one is perfected by realization of impersonal Brahma or localized Paramatma, he can possibly understand Supreme Personality Godhead, Sri Krishna, without being in Krishna consciousness. So even the perfection of impersonal Brahman and local Paramatma, he cannot possibly understand the Supreme Personality Godhead. So, see, these are very high stages. For us, even to get rid of our material desires is difficult. To get out of this entanglement is very difficult. So, this realizing impersonal Brahman, Lokash Brahman means he have achieved a certain level where he is out of his material, he is actually liberated. He is in impersonal Brahman, he is Brahma Jyoti. But still, that person also cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna consciousness without being Krishna consciousness. So he is not devotee, he will not be able to understand. So such a high level person cannot understand Krishna consciousness. Then where are we and where are the other things and the people who say that there is no Lord or who are atheists and all? Impossible. They can never understand Krishna. Even if they recite so many scriptures, even if they tell this or this, it's not possible they can understand Krishna. So now again in this verse number 27, how the jivas are deluded. So let's see. Ichhadesha samuddhena dvandamohena bharata sarvabhutani sammoham sargayanti parantapa. O Sion of Bharata, O conqueror of all of the four, all living entities are born into delusion, bewildered by dualities arising from desire and hate. So, whenever living entity is born, it is sammoha, it is deluded at the creation, and it is always bewildered by dualities. Duality means heat, cold, and man, apman, or we see so many dualities are there in this material world. Sukha, dukkha, and all. So this arises from desire and hate. We like something, we hate something. So whatever we like, we think it's sukha, and whatever dislike, we think it's a hate or something. We don't understand that. So here it's saying that the living entities are born in this and always deluded. The real conscious position of living entity is that of the subordination to the Supreme Lord, who is pure knowledge. So our eternal position is that we are subordinate. See, a jiva, whatever he may try, he can never become Supreme Personality Godhead. So in our life also, we may try very, very hard to become superior, to have number one position or so many things. It will never happen because uh, that is not our position. We are always subordinate to Supreme Lord and we will always be there. When one is deluded into separation from this pure knowledge, he becomes controlled by the illusory energy and cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So when one is in illusion, he will not be able to understand Supreme Personality of Godhead. For knowing Supreme Personality of Godhead, you need the blessings of pure devotees, and then only one can try to understand, and then mercy of Krishna, then only one can understand Supreme Personality of Godhead. The illusory energy is manifested in the duality of desire and hate. Due to desire and hate, the ignorant person wants to become one with Supreme Lord and envies Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So one wants to become merged into Supreme Personality of Godhead, and definitely one envies that why Krishna is being worshipped, why I am not worshipped, why Krishna has so much opulence, why I don't have so much opulence. And because of this envy, we have come this material world, and therefore it's not easy to come out of this envious situation. And therefore, because we are envious of Krishna, we are also envious of other living entities. And especially if their relatives or us are very close to us and they go higher in their life, we are envious. How can this person go higher and I am not going? So this envy we see every part of our life where anybody is progressing anywhere, we feel envious that of him, that how is he progressing in the further life. So pure devotees who are not deluded, contaminated by desire and hate can understand the Lord Krishna. Lord Sri Krishna appears by internal process. But those who are deluded by duality and science think that Supreme Personality Godhead is created by material energies. So only pure devotees can understand that it's spiritual. Otherwise, all think that he's come from material energy. So we also see deities and all. So they are made of material things, but because Supreme Lord has entered, it has become spiritual. Otherwise, we'll also see that, oh, this is also stone, this is also made of earth and fire and all. Yes, it is made of all, but because Krishna is present, it has become spiritual. So whatever is used in Krishna's service become automatically spiritual. So this is their misfortune. Such deluded persons symptomatically dwell in dualities of dishonor and honor, misery and happiness, women and men, good and bad, pleasure and pain, etc. Thinking, this is my wife, this is my house, I am the master of this house, I am the husband of this wife. These are the dualities of delusion. Those who are so deluded by dualities are completely foolish and therefore cannot understand the Supreme Personality of God. So, when one is illusioned by dualities and one is always in sukh, dukh, man, apman, and all, so he will not be able to understand Supreme Personality. And therefore, Shastras say rise beyond that. If we see all the chapters in Bhagavad Gita from chapter 2 and further also, this one theme is constantly going on, that come up, go beyond this sukha dukha, man apman, hate, and envy and all. So please come above all these things. So that is the first point. If we want to grow in spiritual life, we should try to overcome this. There's physical discomfort, then mental discomfort and all. That is man, apman and all, and sukha dukha and all. So we should try to overcome that if we want to progress in spiritual life. Further, 28. So now the question is, who can do bhakti? So this is what is answered in the 28 verse. Yeshvam twanta gatam papam jananam punya karmanam te dvanda moha nirmukta bhajante mam dridavratam. Persons who acted piously in previous lives and in this life, and those sinful and whose sinful actions are completely eradicated, are freed from the dualities of delusion, and they engage themselves in my service with determination. So many things are given. First is acted piously in previous lives, in this life. and second, whose sinful actions are completely eradicated. So now one has stopped these sinful actions and freed from dualities of delusion, that is man, apman, supra, and he's freed from all this delusion. And then he's engaged in devotional service, that is in service with determination. So such a person can do bhakti. Purport. Those eligible for elevation to a transcendental position are mentioned in these words. For those who are sinful, atheistic, foolish, and deceitful, it is very difficult to transcend the duality of desire and hate. So this person cannot come out of this duality as desire and hate. So bhakti means uh, we may not like to do, but we'll do only for the pleasure of Lord. Like waking up early. Actually, not many like it, but still we do. Why? Because there is love for the Lord. We are hanging for the Lord. That, oh, I want to go to Mangalati, I want to go Darshanati, I want to see the Lord. Lord is waiting for me, so let me go. So such longing is there, and therefore we go. Only those who have passed their lives in practicing the regulatory principle of religion, who acted piously and have and conquered sinful reactions, can accept devotional service and gradually rise to the pure knowledge of Supreme Personality of Godhead. So one has to pass in life by practicing regulatory principles. So the four principles we follow: no meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling. So these principles we follow, and no relations outside marriage. So this way, when we follow these regulatory principles by whole our life and chant our mantra and all, then what happens is we act piously and have conquered sinful reactions, and we can accept devotional service and gradually rise to pure knowledge of Supreme Personality of God. So this way, we can grow. Then gradually they can meditate in trance on Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the process of being situated on the spiritual platform. This elevation is possible in Krishna consciousness association of pure devotees. Or in association of great devotees, one can be delivered from delusion. So what are other practices one can does for growing devotional service? One can similarly do in devotional service in Krishna consciousness. So in association of pure devotees. So in association of pure devotees, we can get everything. We can chant, dance, and do everything in association of pure devotees, do so many services. And in this way, we can be delivered from this nescience or delusion. It is stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam 552 that if one actually wants to be liberated, he must render service to the devotees. So, anyone who wants to be liberated from this material world, see, the first thing starts from service. If we want to progress in our devotional life, this is an imperative thing that one needs to serve devotees who are better than them. So by doing that, what happens is one gradually goes in devotional service. And in that also, if one gets a chance to serve pure devotees, that is the best. Generally, it's not easy to serve pure devotees because we don't have so much chance. And see, pure devotees are not easily to be found also. So therefore, if we can serve them or serve some service to devotees, then we can get liberated very fast. Because the key to going back to God is there with devotees. And if devotees are pleased, then Krishna is pleased. And therefore it is said, Mahat Sevam Dwar Aharmi Muktas. So Mahat Sevam, service to spiritually advanced persons called Mahatmas. So what happens is Dwaram, the way this is Mukta. So the way to liberation is there when we serve advanced devotees. And similarly, further also it is said, but one who associates with materialistic people is on the path leading to the darkest region of existence. Tamo dwaram yoshitam sangi sangam. So what happens? Who is of tamo dwara? That is, one does not serve devotees, but associates with what? Materialistic people. So what happens then such person are degraded, and such person cannot be liberated any point of time. All the devotees of the Lord traverse this earth just to recover the conditioned souls from their delusion. So the devotees of the Lord who comes from the spiritual world, who come here, their only business is how can the conditioned soul be saved from this material world. That is the only meditation. And therefore, they do so many things and make so many plans and do so many things. Like we also see in our Govardhan Eco Village, known as Radhanath Swami Maharaj, he does a lot of endeavor, and she is to is that always his meditation is how his conditioned soul can be delivered, how his conditioned soul can be delivered. And therefore he has made so many avenues, and he has done so many things that anybody coming there will be attracted by some or the other thing. And if somebody is attracted, gradually his devotional service can start. And that is very important thing, because and that is the whole aim of the spiritual master or the pure devotees, that they want that the conditioned souls be go back to their original form, that is back to Godhead. The impersonalists do not know that forgetting the constitutional position as subordinate to the Supreme Lord is the greatest violation of God's laws. So the impersonalists, that is, who do not believe on the form of the Lord, uh, they think they're doing the great violence, because they don't think that we are subordinate to Supreme Lord. They want to merge with the Supreme Lord. They don't think that we are servants, and therefore it's a actually one of the aparadha, and therefore not many get success in uh, merging to the effulgence law. The Brahma Jyoti, that is the Brahman effulgent uh, light of the Krishna. Unless one is reinstated in this own conscious position, it is not possible to understand the Supreme Personality or be fully engaged in his transcendental loving service with determination. So, till the time one does not know that he is spirit soul, and just not know, he has Vigyan also, that I am the spirit soul. So, to understand Supreme Personality, or be fully engaged in the loving service with determination. So, it is not possible to do this unless one is in his conditional position, that is, one again becomes the servant of Krishna and tries to follow the instructions of Krishna. So there only it is possible. So now uh, in the verse 29, the description about the moksha kami bhakta is given, that who wants moksha from this material world. जरामरण मोक्षाय मामाश्रित्य यतन्ति ये ते ब्रह्म तद्विदो कृष्णम् अध्यात्मं कर्म चाखिलम्. Intelligent persons who are endeavoring for liberation from old age and death take refuge in me in devotional service. They are actually Brahman, because they entirely know everything about the transcendental activities. So these are the intelligent persons who are trying for liberation from old and death, and they take refuge in Krishna by devotion. So they actually know Brahman, and that is, they know the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and they know everything about transcendental activities. Purport: birth, death, old age, and disease affect the material body, but not the spiritual body. There is no birth, death, the old age, and disease for spiritual body. So one who attains the spiritual body becomes one of the associates of Supreme Personality of Godhead and engages in eternal devotion service, is really liberated. So we have discussed this so many times. This birth, old age, this always affects the spiritual, the material body, but spiritual body is Satchidanand. It never changes, never deteriorates. It's always the same. Therefore, it doesn't have birth, old age, disease, because it has no birth only. Spiritual body is always there. So when one attains the spiritual body, so what happens is one becomes one of the associates of Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then one engages in loving, eternal, devotional service. So in this way, one goes into that. And Aham Brahmasmi, I am the spirit. It is said that one should understand that he is Brahman, spirit, soul. The Brahman concept of life is also in devotional service, as we said in this verse. The pure devotees are transcendently situated on the Brahman platform, and they know everything about transcendental activities. So the pure devotees are on the platform of Brahman platform, or they are very on a high platform, and they know everything about the transcendental activities going on, and therefore they can practice devotional service, and gradually uh, they are the person who can help others also to grow. Four kinds of impure devotees who engage themselves in transcendental service of the Lord achieve respective goals by the grace of the Supreme Lord. But when they are fully in Krishna consciousness, they actually enjoy spiritual association with the Supreme Lord. But those who are worshippers of demigods never reach the Supreme Lord in his supreme planet. So we saw these four kind of devotees back that who come to Krishna for some desires, and they are not still pure; they are just impure because they have come for other goals. They have not come for pure devotion. Somebody's earth or somebody's artharthi. They have come for other things, and therefore, uh, by engaging transcendental service, what happens? They achieve their respective goals, and by the grace of Supreme Lord, when they are fully conscious, they actually enjoy spiritual association with Supreme Lord. So when one becomes fully Krishna consciousness, one goes back to God. So devotional service can be started by anybody at any point of time. So one may have any desire, any desire. I want to conquer the world. I want to do this. So you can all start with devotional service. There is no problem. But who will become successful in devotional service? That depends on individual to individual, his own practice and so many other things. It's like the entry is easy. That is, one can come, but the exit is very difficult. The exit is very difficult. Like the entry is like a big door where anybody can come, but the exit is like small window where the living entities go to back to Godhead. So anybody who comes to spiritual life is welcome. These four kind of people also, they gradually may start, but then who will progress depends on his own uh, endeavor also. And therefore, it is written that those who are worshippers of demigods will never reach the Supreme Lord in Supreme Planet. So, worship of demigods, they will go to the planet of demigods. Here, there is only one exception. If they know that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead and they are worshipping demigod as a part and parcel of Krishna, or they think that this demigod uh, is a representative of Krishna, then he may also go to back to Godhead. That is Lord Krishna's abode. Otherwise, if he considers demigod as Supreme Personality of Godhead, they are all in all, then he will never go to the abode of Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, even the less intelligent Brahmanless person cannot reach the supreme planet of Krishna known as Golok Vrindavan. Only persons who perform activities of Krishna consciousness, Mam Ashritya, are actually entitled to be called Brahman because they are actually endeavored to reach the Krishna planet. Such persons have no misgivings about Krishna, and thus they are factually Brahman. So even if one goes to Brahman level also, one may not know what Krishna is and what Krishna consciousness is. And therefore, those who are actually practicing Krishna conscious person are actually entitled to be called Brahman, that they are the best of all. And they will achieve the supreme Krishna planet. Those who are engaged in worshipping the form of Archa or Archa of the Lord, who are engaged in meditation on the Lord simply for liberation from material bondage, also know by the grace of the Lord the purports of Brahman, Adi Bhuta, etc. as explained by the Lord in the next chapter. So, one was engaging in form of Archa. So, one should worship Krishna and engage in meditation simply for liberation. So they also know the purpose of Brahman. So it will explain the next chapter. So let's see this last verse of this chapter, verse number 30. And in this verse, the seed of the next chapter is there. So here, Krishna speaks about Sa Adi Bhuta, Adi Deva and all, Adi Yagya and all. So this will come the next chapter, and Arjuna will ask, what is this you are speaking the last verse? Adi Bhuto, Adi Adar, what is this all things? So this is the seed for the next verse, next chapter, sorry. So let's recite this verse. Sadibhuta Adidaivam Mam Sadiyajnam cha ye vidu Prayana Kale api cha mam te viduryukta chetasam. Those in full consciousness of me, who know me, the Supreme Lord, to be the governing principle of the material manifestation of the demigods and of all the methods of sacrifice, can understand and know me, the Supreme Personality Godhead, even at the time of death. So, full consciousness of Supreme Lord, that is, one is fully aware that he is the governing principle of everything. He is the governing principle of demigods also. He is the main person who is the who will get the yagya bhukta, is the method of sacrifice and everything. They can only know the Supreme Personality Godhead at the time of death. Purport: person acting in Krishna consciousness are never deviated from the path of entirely understanding the Supreme Personality Godhead. In the transcendental association of Krishna consciousness, one can understand how the Supreme Lord is the governor principle of the material manifestation and even of the demigods. So, this one should know that uh, if one is associated of Krishna conscious devotees and everything, then gradually one will realize this thing that how Krishna is everything. He's the governing person. He's the main person because of whom the entire creation is going on. And even the demigods are house subordinate to Krishna. Gradually, by such transcendent association, one becomes convinced of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. At the time of death, such a Krishna conscious person can never forget Krishna. Naturally, he is thus promoted to the planet of Supreme Lord Goloka Vrindavan Dham. So all start with desires that we want to go to back to God, we want to worship Supreme Personality God, we want to go to His Supreme Lord Brajadham, Vrindavan Dham. And then when one becomes convinced, at least at the time of death, that Supreme Personality God Krishna is everything and Krishna is everything, then what happens? One can go back to God. The seventh chapter practically explains how one can become fully Krishna conscious person. The beginning of the Krishna consciousness is association of devotees who are in Krishna consciousness. So the beginning starts with sadhu sang, shraddha, sadhu sang, and then bhajan kriya starts. Such association is spiritual and puts one directly in touch with the Supreme Lord, and by His grace, one can understand Krishna to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. At the same time, one can really understand the conscious position of living entity and how the living entity forgets Krishna and becomes entangled in material activities. These all things one can understand that how the jiva has come to material world and how he is entangled. By gradual development in Krishna consciousness and good association, the living entity can understand that due to his forgetfulness of Krishna, he has become conditioned by the laws of material nature. So this happens very gradually, that by associating with devotees, one will come to understand that how one is conditioned, how one is changed by these laws of material nature. See, one may avoid the High Court or Supreme Court by giving some money or anything, but he can he can never avoid the laws of material nature. And he can also understand that his human form of life is an opportunity to regain the Krishna consciousness and that it should be fully utilized to attain the causeless mercy of the Supreme Lord. So this is very important thing, that the human form of life is a very, very rare opportunity. And the most important thing is to regain Krishna consciousness, that is to become devotee of Krishna and go back to Godhead. And therefore it will be utilized for that thing only. Many subjects have been discussed in this chapter: the man in distress, the inquisitive man, the man in want of material necessities, knowledge of Brahman, knowledge of Paramatma, liberation from birth, this, death, disease, and worship of Supreme Lord. However, he who is actually elevated in Krishna consciousness does not care for different processes. He simply directly engages himself in the activities of Krishna consciousness and thereby factually attains this conscious position as eternal servitor of the Lord Krishna. In such a situation, he takes pleasure in hearing and glorifying the Supreme Lord in pure devotional service. He is convinced that by doing so, all his objectives will be fulfilled. This determined faith is called Dridavata. Krishna Bhakti Kaile Sarva karma krita hai. If I do Krishna conscious bhakti, if I do bhakti, everything will be done. It's called Dravata. It's the beginning of Bhakti Yoga or transcendental loving service. That is the verdict of all scriptures. This seventh chapter of Bhagavad Gita is the substance of that conviction. So, main thing I discussed in this chapter, we also saw in so many verses. And then we know that how we should be elevating ourselves in different Krishna process. And then hear and glorify the Supreme Lord in pure devotional service. And then when we do this, our objectives are fulfilled. So this is the way we should progress. Thus ends the Bhakti purpose 7th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of knowledge of the Absolute.